Red.
The f is that? Bro, what the f? What? Dude, that move? What the?
Bro, like what the actual? Like that's the moon over there. The moon's over there.
No shit, dude.
You can see the moon.
Spooky.
But it's another panorama from the 1870s, showing a city almost devoid of people. No horses, no carts. Pretty much nothing. And people run right to Wikipedia and they say, well, it's because of the exposure time. Well, this is another panorama from the 1870s. And let's take a look here. You can clearly see horses now, even though they are blurred. We can see them. Here's one from Gibraltar. When you look, you can see a lonely little pony. Possibly a man there. But where is everybody else? Here's another one from San Francisco. We see plenty of ships and buildings, but we don't see any people. And if we zoom in, we don't even see any horses or the blur of a person. And here's another one. Oh, some awfully strange decor. What is this thing here? That's pretty weird. What the hell is that? I don't know. But back to the main point, is that you just don't see anybody. I mean, there is some cows though, you know? We clearly have cows. But the severe lack of people, I mean, it just kind of makes you wonder. Look at these, how big these cities are, but we got 3 horses on the road.
Officials in Argentina and Uruguay are working to restore power after a massive electrical failure left parts of both countries in the dark. The widespread blackout started Sunday morning. Authorities...
I'm Major General Albert Newton Stubblebine III, U.S. Army retired, and I spent 34 years in the military, and ended up as a Major General. In my last assignment, I was responsible for all of the Army's strategic intelligence forces around the world. The amount of energy required to melt the girders, the steel in the tower, cannot be gotten to a melt point with the fuel that was in the airplane. Not possible. So any melting did not occur as a result of the hit from the airplane. Point. I call it dot, okay? Dot. When you look at the tower coming down, what you see are, at each floor, successive puffs of smoke. Puff, 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 all the way down. What are the puffs of smoke coming from? Well, they claim they're from the collapsing floors. No. Those puffs of smoke are controlled demolitions. That's exactly what they are, because that's exactly how they work. The collapse of the building was caused by controlled demolition. Building 7, the owner. He is heard on the video, okay? And he says, pull it.
Just pull it. and they made that decision to pull, and then we watched the building collapse.
And then the building collapsed. What does pull it mean? What do the words pull it mean? Let me tell you, that's the order for controlled demolition. That is the phraseology that's used for blowing up something. And that's when Building 7 blew up.
Go back to bed, America. Your government is in control again. Here's American Gladiators. Watch this. Shut up. Go back to bed, America. Here's American Gladiators. Here is 56 channels of it. Watch these.
Hey, look, real talk though, look, man, play on your ignorance, man, because a lot,
Government is lying to all of us.
Okay, so we've all seen those crazy videos of everybody finding things on Google Earth, so I decided to go to Google Earth and see what I can find. So we're gonna zoom in on the United States, go to Texas. We're heading over to the Abilene area because there is an Air Force base here that is the main topic of this video. So find DS Air Force Base and zoom in on it. So I originally noticed this big airplane with what looks like a blur sitting next to it. That is, of course, until I zoom in on that so-called blur and realize it's not a blur at all. Rather, some type of invisible spacecraft? I mean, at least that's what it looks like to me. You use your eyes. You be the judge. Let me know what you think. It is a very curious find on Google Earth, though. Because I know for a fact I've seen these, like, hologram invisible plane videos before, but not at this base and not this exact airplane, which means there's multiple in several locations. I don't know, just a curious find, and definitely makes you think, why do we have these? Who invented them? Why don't we know about them? What else are they hiding? You know, all that jazz. Anyways, you know the deal. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe.
You know, you can go from the East Coast to the West Coast underground. Underground, completely underground. Without having to come up. And there's turnoffs. You need security clearances to get through these turnoffs. They go into other bases. They go into other areas and, secret places you can't go. And what do they do there? They do a lot of things. I can tell you one thing. They have 2 sets of elevators. And my security clearance got me down to the main hub area, which is as big as Manhattan. I mean, it's as big as Manhattan. It's unbelievable. They have acres of farmland with lights and farmland underground. They run the lights off nuclear. Underground. Yeah, they have nuclear power plant underground, and they use that for everything. All the power under there. They grow food. Yeah, they grow food. They have livestock. I mean, everything. Yeah, they have everything. They have bench shafts. They have everything. But the 2 sets of elevators.
On this channel, we have reviewed the video showing the underground tunnels and them bringing food and a whole bunch of different supplies. So look, look. I think that's cap. Come on, let's keep going though.
The elevators I was telling you about. My clearance, I can only go down to the main hub. Then there was another set of elevators that brought you down further. And a bunch of friends of mine would tell me stories about that. Can you tell us anything about those stories? Yeah, I can tell you what they told me. What they told me is there's actual aliens, grays. Wait. Aliens. What was the word, grays? Grays. And also there's another kind. There's different species that they talk about. There's grays, there's reptilians, all different kinds. A gray is a type of alien. Right. It's not really it's not really an alien. It's a drone. It's not really it's like an organic drone. That's exactly what it is. What does that mean, an organic drone? It's not a living thing. It's in living tissue, but it's a drone. They're not
like his conjoined twin, since it had a mind of its own, but it was probably just misdiagnosed.
It is the site for the Lockheed Range underground entrance. What's in there? Well, there are man-made, and this is the big story, no one's telling you. A large number of the UAPs are in fact deep black budget electrogravitic electromagnetic field propulsion devices based on the study of extraterrestrial vehicles that began in the 1940s. That is a fact. We can prove it. So when you see these sort of places, just remember, many of them, I want to be careful what I'm saying here. Someone who is in charge of the black budget of the United States in 2022 went out to the Lockheed Skunk Works based on some information he had. He was shown a bunch of old jet aircraft. He knew he was being gaslit. And they reached out to me and I said, what do you want? I'll give you everything we have. And that's what's happened over the last 16 months. So I cannot name this person, but they're a wonderful person of enormous integrity and a hero of our country. So I want to just go through quickly some of the new ones who aren't here. Now, the reason these have initials, they're waiting to be cleared for coming forward publicly. They're afraid. Let me explain to you why they are. This man, here's just his incoming letter. We get these every day. Now, he's afraid he'll lose his pension. He signed an 80-year non-disclosure agreement. He has been threatened, and some of these have seriously had their lives threatened. It's a very thuggish situation going on that the Department of Justice and FBI need to drill down on very quickly. Next. Here's an illustration of one event that he was involved in back when there was a extraterrestrial vehicle that crashed and then ultimately ended up at Lawton, Oklahoma, near Fort Sill. This man has been in a skiff with these objects. These illustrations are based on his direct testimony and hours of discussions since 2016. Here is a small extraterrestrial body, about 39 inches long, that was retrieved in that operation. There are extraterrestrials of various sizes. The last known count I had of different civilizations involved with this, about 60 to 70 in that range, and I think there could be more. Next. This is one of the underground command centers that he was assigned to from the Pentagon. He was with Technical Management Office and then some other offices and investigated some criminal activities that occurred with a 3-star general related to this subject that the Department of Justice was basically unable to prosecute because they were denied access to the operations. Next. And here's one that was also in this another facility. It's an extraterrestrial vehicle. He actually was there very close to it. This gentleman wants to come forward. He needs to be protected. And this is why we're calling for explicit witness protection and explicit pension and asset protection for these whistleblowers. Next. And this is just an indication of a type of electromagnetic system that actually
it has like lights on the side.
And it's red.
It just looks like a ball, huh?
Yeah, it looks like
tiny little ball.
Not only does it look like a ball, it's if you see the back of it, it's kind of flying like slanted.
It kind of looks like a meteor. It's flying backwards. Look, it's dying down.
Yeah, it is dying down.
What is that? Keep recording though. Flying backwards. I feel like it's flying backwards. It's falling. It's falling? Yeah, it's going down.
No, look, if you look at it, it looks like it's flying up, but it's not. It's flying sideways.
Yeah, but it fell down a little bit. It was going through the middle of those two stars.
It looks like it's going like this, but it's not.
No, it was going through the middle of those two stars, and then it changed its direction.
Oh shoot, look.
That's what I'm saying, it's falling down. Yeah, it's going away.
It's disappearing, Jasmine.
I know. Look, look, look. The lights off. How is it jumping from like side to side?
It's like, that's what I'm saying, it's like jumping.
And the red light is dimming.
It's gone.
No, it's still there, but it's going away.
Yep. They're there doing weird stuff.
going away.
It's hopping off weird.
It's going away. It's gonna disappear right now.
That's so freaking weird.
Look, it's basically gone.
Is it a UFO? We can't figure it out. A viewer reaching out saw these large bright lights in the skies over the strip in downtown. He says they're bigger than the helicopters we see circling many times. And we just heard back from Nellis. They say not involved in this. So if you think you know what these are, you've seen these, you can reach out, let us know right on our website, anewsnow.com. Top story there.
Report alleging that the U.S. military has been retrieving craft of non-human origin for at least several decades. Are we alone? And if we were not, would you even tell us?
I would refer that question to the Department of Defense and let them answer that question for you. Go ahead.
If you saw an actual mermaid?
That's what it was. It was a swimming person. Me and this little French boy, and they said don't swim in the lagoon after dark. Everybody's up at the bar, so me and him go down, me and him get in the water. From a distance, you see something coming like a fucking missile, but it's going fast, and we both kind of stop, and then it turns and it jumps out of the water, and it's maybe at least 10, 12 feet long, man. The water was only about this deep. Didn't make a splash or nothing. And it wasn't like a mermaid. Didn't look feminine at all.
Look at a man.
A fucking man.
Really?
A fucking dude who said, get the fuck out the pool. He had, the back of him was fish. The back of him was fish. His head was humanoid. Eyes about so big. Then, if you Google it, the lagoons of Seychelles.
Okay.
And I ain't the first person to see some shit.
Really?
In them waters. The guy who does the horseback riding, he's saying how long his family has been fishing in these waters. He says, I've heard some things like what you say. I've never seen what you say you saw, but it's not the first time I heard that.
In 1783, a boy was born in India with a deformity thought to be impossible. He had 2 heads. The second head was upside down and amazingly fully functional. The boy claimed he could hear the other brain telling him things. It seemed to function independently of the main brain. When the boy cried or smiled, the facial features of the second head did not match. When the child was asleep, the second head could be awake, and his eyes moved as if they were observing the surroundings. His death in 1787 was not caused by the deformity, but absurdly, by a cobra.
Oh, there's a portal above me. Dennis noticed it. It's a complete circle. It's got one sun there.
I blew an O.
Another sun. You blew an O. I'll tell you what you blew. But yeah, isn't that fucked up? What the hell? Cocksucker. Yeah. Did you get the whole thing in your picture or what?
No,
it's too big. But it's a perfect fucking circle. It's too big. What about Plano or something?
And that's where I thought it was a log.
On their last sale of the season, Dale Hanshar, his wife Colleen, and their neighbor Myrna Germaine Brown saw something shocking beneath Okanagan Lake's surface.
Nice easy breeze, cruising out across the lake, and we saw something in the water. And as a boater, I was just looking, is this something dangerous that needs to be marked so somebody doesn't run into it? We went by it. It looked like a log down into the water, but didn't look quite right.
That's when they snapped a photo.
It wasn't until we got home, we got looking at it and zoomed in on it that we were like...
Puzzled.
The horns are what we can call them that.
So,
the nodules.
Yeah.
Oh, at least 3 feet.
And then it goes out from there.
And, it would have been that big. And that's why I thought if it was Ogopogo sleeping, I don't want to be here.
They don't look like that.
The Schumann frequency of the Earth changed a couple days ago, and it's led many people to believe that our world is shifting.
Our world's frequency, also known as Earth's heartbeat, typically sits at 7.83 hertz and is said to affect human brainwaves, meditation, and hypnosis. It can be picked up by devices and typically looks like this and sounds like this. But a couple days ago, its appearance and sound completely changed. What's really interesting is that people reportedly for the last couple of days have been experiencing headaches, deja vu, or extremely intense and vivid dreams. And as a result, theories have spawned that humans are going to a higher or awakened state of consciousness. Leave a like and let me know if you've experienced anything.